Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sunshine State Entrepreneur Spotlight, your ultimate guide to the electrifying world of Florida's business scene. Every week, we showcase Florida's most innovative startups, game-changing entrepreneurs, and industry-leading pioneers. Today, we have the privilege of having a wonderful guest and a personal friend, Vanessa Cole with Coffee News. So you may have heard fun reading, serious advertising. Vanessa Cole, I've known for several years. Vanessa is the absolute networking guru. She's helped me make a lot of connections in my own business. She is a people person. So when you need to know someone, she's the person that can connect you. In addition to being an amazing businesswoman, she's also a board of directors and ambassador chair for the Port Orange, South Daytona Chamber of Commerce, and the vice president at the Professional Women of Flagler County. Vanessa, it's a privilege to have you. Thanks so much for being on our podcast today.
Thank you. Thank you, Kelly, for having me.
Thank you very much. At this time of recording, we're just on the outskirts of Hurricane Debbie, so I hope all is well with you and your family and your furry friends are all safe.
Yes, so far so good. So just some rain and some wind, but nothing bad at all. So
that's good. Glad to hear. So let's dive right in, Vanessa. Love having you here. Thanks for taking your time today. Tell us, the listeners, a little bit about how you got into your industry and what Coffee News is all about.
Sure. So I've actually been a coffee news publisher for 16 and a half years. Prior to that, I was actually in law enforcement. My husband and I both were in law enforcement and just needed a change. We actually found Coffee News on the Entrepreneur website, the Entrepreneur Magazine website, and dug right in. I'm like, oh, this looks really interesting. Let's do it. So it was very interesting going from being a crime scene investigator to selling advertising. So, but I love it. 16 and a half years later, I'm still here. 4.5 years ago, we sold, or excuse me, a little over 4 years ago, we sold our editions up in the North Georgia, Chattanooga, Tennessee area. And we purchased the St. Augustine and Palm Coast, Florida editions. So for those of you who have not saw Coffee News, so this is Coffee News. This is what it looks like. It's just a little one page, 11 by 17. It's got little, everybody's talking, quotable quotes, what's happening, trivia, horoscope. It's all fun stuff, Kelly. So there's nothing negative in Coffee News. And also the great thing about Coffee News is a lot of our clients really like it, that it's weekly. So every week they can pick up a new copy to find out the latest fun stuff around town. And one of the things that we do is we obviously we sell advertising, and we sell advertising to a lot of local businesses in the area. I mean, we have clients, Kelly, that's been with us 12, 14 years. We have some who's just starting out with us, but a lot of our advertisers stay with us because our ROI is so good. It's a lot more affordable than other publications in the area, but it's also just helps keep that top of mind awareness, which is what all of us need in business.
That is very true. And we really do see the paper everywhere. I see it at local restaurants. I've seen it at nail salons. I've seen it at grocery stores. And personally, I've been an advertiser with you for over 2 years, and it's impressive to hear that you have advertisers that have been with you almost as long as you've owned the franchises. And you have the largest U.S. The largest coffee news franchise in the U.S. Correct?
Yes, ma'am. We own 10 editions. We publish 10 editions every week. We have editions from Nocatee all the way down to Port Orange. So Port Orange, Daytona, Ormond Beach, Palm Coast, and then up in St. Augustine all the way up to Nocatee. So yes, a large area that we cover every week. So yes,
wow.
ma'am.
That's a big area, and it is very affordable. You know, as I mentioned, I've been an advertiser for over 2 years, and it's helped me get quality leads for my business and help me increase my business. So thank you for that. And it's something I can fit in my budget. And, you know, I really stick to a budget. So Vanessa, tell me, what do you love most about what you do with Coffee News?
I think one of the biggest things, Kelly, is just getting out and being able to help connect people and actually grow their business. So when somebody like readers will call me, like I had a lady who just recently called me for a client, I had a lady who called me up in the St. Augustine area who needed some trees cut. This was a few weeks ago, so this was before this hurricane was coming our way. But she said, "Hey, my neighbor said I have a dead tree in my yard. Didn't know it. There are, limbs falling in my yard." She goes, "I've read Coffee News for years. Company, do you have a tree company?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am, I do." I said, "But they're in the Palm Coast area. Let me just check with him to see if they will, be happy to go up there." So I reached out to my current tree company in Palm Coast Edition, and he's like, "Yeah, let me look at it since she's on the south side of St. Augustine. Generally, I don't want to go to St. Augustine, but hey, I don't mind a bit to help her out. She seems elderly and stuff." So he called me a few days later. He goes, "Thank you." He goes, "That small job turned into an $8,000 job. Plus, the neighbor who
Wow.
told her it's a dead tree, he's going to go back and do more work for them." So she actually had the dead tree, and then she actually had another one. So we ended up cutting several trees down. She was super happy with it, and then she called me back a few days later after that. It's like, "Thank you so much. That guy was so nice." I'm like, "Thank you. I'm glad it worked out." So, that ability, not only are they in our paper, but as we have readers who call or out in the business community, Kelly, and somebody says, "Hey, I need X." I go to my list of advertisers first, and then I'll call them and say, "Hey, this is who I have. Would this be a good connection for you, or is this something you could help?" So
Wow. That's really impressive and a great story. So not only do you help business owners that are advertising the publication because it gets their name out there and then that consistency where they're being seen every week, but you're really a trusted source to your clients and your clients are reaching out to you. And from the example that you gave, that business owner, even though he doesn't service that area generally, was willing to go above and beyond because of you, and that led to a lot of business for him. $8,000. That's a great day.
yeah, absolutely. He was super. He goes, "Maybe I need to consider going into St. Augustine." He goes, "No, I just really want to stay here, because it does take a lot to go up there. I think he said it was about 40 minutes from where his office is at up to there, but he was happy to do it, and then it actually turned out really good for him. So he was super excited about that. So
Wow,
yeah,
that's really impressive, and that's an unexpected highlight of being part of Coffee News. It's serious business and serious advertising and fun reading too, just like you said. Well, I was going to ask an example of a story how you help someone, but you just gave a great example how you were able to help one of your clients that advertises and a client otherwise. Uh,
right.
so that's really wonderful. I know you're very involved in the community. I'd love to hear about something that you do when you're not working or helping people find trusted professionals. What's something that you're passionate about outside of Coffee News?
Sure. So one of the things that I'm very passionate about, my husband and I both is we love animal rescue. So we love, we actually have, Kelly, about over the years, we've had like 9 foster failures. So what that means, we fostered them for different organizations. Most of them were up in the North Georgia area. And then we decided to adopt them and not let them get adopted out. We kept them. When we moved to Florida, we're very passionate about animal rescue. And we found an organization called SMART, which is Saving Missing Animals Rescue Team. So that's the thing, is we help, it's foster based, and we help abandoned, abused, and neglected dogs in Flagler County. So we actually have a baby right now that he's 16 years old. He's an old boy. His name is Dandy. He is blind, and he's blind and mostly deaf. If he
Oh,
would have been turned in to like the pound or something, they would have put him down because he's not an adoptable doggy. So Caroline Johnson, who is the executive director of that, we're like, "Look, we're going to be your hospice foster. So you bring us a doggy who still has a quality of life. Obviously he's not in pain or anything. He just can't see where he's going. He loves to eat and he loves belly rubs, so his quality of life is good, but we're his hospice foster. So he's going to be with us till the day he takes his last breath." And the
wow.
great thing about SMART excuse me, animal rescue is they cover all the vetting. And they provide food, they provide anything you need just to give them, a safe home and stuff. And we've even helped, or the Smart has even helped, if we have an elderly person or somebody who says, look, I'm going to have to give up the doggy because the doggy needs surgery for XYZ, but I don't have the $3,000 to, to get that, life-saving thing. Caroline Johnson, the executive director, will actually fundraise and pay for that, get shots for the animal or anything, because she'd much rather for it to stay in the home where it's at versus us taking it out and trying to adopt and the dog try to acclimate with a new owner and stuff like that. So she's really, and that's the thing is like, we're very passionate about that too. So like our passion for animal rescue aligns, very vertically with Caroline Johnson with Smart. So we love helping her. We help with fundraising events. And of course we have fosters. This is Dandy is foster number 5, I think 5 or 6. And
Wow.
so yeah, and that's been in literally like in a year and a half. So we're very passionate about helping with animals. So that is my big passion when I'm not out and about for coffee news. I do like that.
I can tell how passionate you are as you're talking. Your face just lights up, and it really takes a special person to give that love and that time. And you showed me some pictures offline of some of the animals that you fostered, and you've completely changed your lives. So thank you for doing that and helping those animals. And it's a great cause. So do you have any upcoming projects or goals that are happening that you're excited about? I know there's a conference coming up in September that you're a sponsor for, so you could talk about that if you wanted to, or something else. I know you're so busy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I do stay busy. Yes, ma'am. So the conference that you just mentioned is going to be September 19th to the 21st. It is the Boss Lady Conference, and it's going to be held at the Grand Hotel in Daytona Beach. So, Kelly, you and I both are part of what they call the Boss Lady community. And when Teresa Rand and Jennifer Roberts was talking about this, I actually attended last show insightful. As a business owner, you don't have somebody who says you need to go do this or good job or bad job. When you're a business owner, you have to find your own motivation. So I went to the conference last year and it was very big motivation. And so when she started talking about the conference coming up and needing sponsorships, I'm like, how much is the sponsorship and what is the different levels? I'm like, okay, I want to be a presenting sponsor. She goes, okay, really good. So
wow.
So yes, I'm really super excited about being one of the big sponsors for the conference, and really looking forward. She has a whole panel of wonderful business owners, lady business owners, and speakers and stuff lined up for the conference. So it's super exciting, and I love to be a part of the Boss Lady community. I'm very happy that I'm honored to get to sponsor it. So
great. We're lucky to have you. And for those of you that don't know, Vanessa was recently featured on an episode of the Boss Lady podcast with Teresa Rand and Jennifer Roberts, where she gives networking tips. And she was also featured recently on another local podcast called Why I Love Volusia and Flagler with Macy Bakshi, who interviews local business owners as well. So you can find her there, some great networking tips. And, as we wrap up, Vanessa, I would love to know, and the listeners, how we can best help you increase your business today. What can we do to help Coffee News?
So thank you, Kelly. So my biggest thing is I always have, like you heard me say earlier, the lady called me about needing a tree cut down. So I consistently get calls, in different areas for different things. And I will tell you a couple of the latest industries that I've been getting requests for, specifically in the Port Orange area, a heating and air company. So I would love to have a heating and air company. They're in Palm Coast, but they don't go to Port Orange. So I really would love to have one of those. A plumber would be a really good one. And then a mechanic shop. So, somebody that does oil changes, works on your car. So those specifically in the Volusia area, those would be really good connect, for advertisers and stuff, because those are consistently, with Coffee News, we do have a lot of, senior citizens in our community.
Mhm.
So, they look at Coffee News for a trusted source. So if we have an advertiser in there, they're going to call them. And I mean, that's happened year after year after year up in the Palm Coast and St. Augustine area. We've been in those areas over 20 years. And then just down in the Volusia, almost they're coming up on 3. So obviously it's newer. But anything around the home. So think about it. Senior citizens, they can't paint walls. They can't put in a new
Mhm.
ceiling fan. They can't put in a new garage door. So any of those things, service type companies. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, Kelly, and I know
Mhm.
that you benefit from this also, is Coffee News is exclusive. So we only allow one credit card
Oh.
processing company, one heating and air, one moving company, one of each. So that's a big advantage for my clients. One of the attorneys I have up in St. Augustine that's been with me like 14 years, she was like, I love it because there's other, family law attorneys and they can't get in Coffee News, and I love that. And she gets business from it,
Locking out your competition
so
is
that's
good, and that's a great point to know. So for those of you listening, if you know a local heating and air, plumber, mechanic, painter, any service type industries, be sure to reach out to Vanessa, and in the show notes we'll have her contact information. Vanessa, I want to thank you again for taking your time and for everything you've done to help me in my own business. And thank you so much for being a guest on the Sunshine State Entrepreneur Spotlight.
absolutely. Thank you, Kelly.
Have a great day, everyone.